Okay, I'm just going to give a quick look here at how you might adjust a set of results to give you what you would project your class should get. I'm looking here at a set of fictitious names there and fictitious results, and I just threw in a few things there, like I just put in there just the average mark of the class. It might tell us something, and I'm after putting in there just a piece of software there for counting the A's, B's, C's, D's, E's, blah blah like that, and just that piece of software there that applies a weighting. Now I looked at this in a previous video, but that's applying a weighting to the different tests that we're using here. So again, I'm not going to talk about that because I looked at that in a previous video, but looking at this here, normally we get 4 or 5 A's. This year there's none. Now if the cause of that happened to be maybe in the pre, like a lot of teachers do, you mark the pre really hard to keep them from getting carried away with themselves and complacent. So you marked the pre really hard, or it was marked really hard, or whatever, and one set of exam results is causing the problem like that. Well, what you could do is you could reduce the weighting of the pre here, which is this one. So instead of being worth 20%, you could say, look, I'm going to make that worth 10, and I'm going to make the Christmas test worth 30%. Now, so 20, 40, 60, 90, 100, alright? Now, to apply that to the marking, then to make that change, again, this goes back to the previous video, we're making this one worth 30%, which is 0.3, and we're reducing the weighting of the pre there down to 0.1. So I'm going to hit return to apply that. Now that only applies it to the first student here, to Pat. So I need to drag this on down the rest of the ways here now to apply that to the rest of the students. And when I do that, that made a little difference. I now have one A student, but that didn't really get me to where I wanted. Okay, so that was the first way, and it made a difference, but it didn't make enough of a difference. So I'm going to put this back now to 0.2 and 0.2 again, because we've looked at that method, and I'll just change this back here. So that's 20% weighting. So all of the tests are being weighted the same again there. Now, and I need to apply those changes there now to all the rest of them again. So we're back to where we were. That did not do the trick for us. Now I could have left it as well. It's no big deal. But what I'm going to look at next is another option there then. If you're happy with the relative positions of the class, but just that they're all low, that they should be all a little bit higher, what you could do there is you could put an increasing factor or value on the entire class. So if let's say I was to multiply all their results there by 1.1 and just hit enter. Oh, no I don't. Oh, I see the problem. I forgot to put in the multiply by there. Whoops. I want to multiply them by 1.1, which will increase the first one there now. So I just enter that and make sure that's applied to everybody there. So now we've increased everybody in the class's mark by a factor. So that's got us up now. All of a sudden we've got 2 A's now, and everybody in the class has benefited equally, proportionately equally. So if I wanted to go another bit, if I made that 1.5, just enter that, apply it to all the people then. So now we're up to 6 A's. Now normally we have 4 or 5, so that's an awful lot better than where it was. So that's 2 different ways you could do it. You could change the weighting, or you could apply an increment to all the students' marks, which treats every student equally. And I'll just look at one other thing here now that's of use to people is teachers are being asked or schools are being asked to apply a rank. So if you put a box somewhere over there, and we're going to rank these, I'm going to keep it level here now. So so inside this box I want to say equal to rank. So I could focus up here or down there. I prefer to focus up here. So that's equal to the rank, open a bracket, click on the number in the top box there. So for me that box is M8, that's the number in M8 now, and comma. And I want to rank, then I'm going to drag that down there, so I want to rank all of those. So you can see now, take note, M8 is there twice because it's the number that's in M8, and then I want to compare that number to all the other candidates' scores down here as well. But before you do that now, you got to put in the dollar sign, so you've got to change that to $M, $8, $M, and $21 for me, because that is the boxes there that I've got on this there, the cells that I'm using. And finally just close the bracket, enter that. So our first student over here now, Pat, is after finishing 7th, but when I grab that there now and pull it down to the bottom now, just make sure that you finish it properly level over here with Paul, our bottom student. So there's our ranking. So in top place here is Brendan Cahill, top student there, no surprise there. And then Tony Collins must have been sitting beside him, and third there then is Marie McKeown, and so on. So there is the ranking done for you as well, which will just save a lot of messing and fooling around with looking at marks, and it's easy to go wrong on that. So if anyone wanted that, if you were to send email there, I could email a copy of that out to anyone that wanted it. Just stick in my email address there. So I can clear off all the data off the cells there, and I could send a copy of that to anyone that wants it.